and welcome back to Opera's World. It's been a while. Did you guys miss me? I don't think it's been a while, but yeah, it's been a while. So the craziest thing happened to me this morning. You guys may have guessed that I will make a video today. So here I am making a video today. And so yeah, the craziest thing happened this morning. I woke up to my grandma screaming at the top of her lungs, "Get up, Audrey, we need to go!" And I'm like, why? And she's like, "Bhumikampo, bhumikampo." It means earthquake. She's like, "Earthquake, earthquake, earthquake." And I'm like, why? At first I couldn't feel the motion of the building moving. But then as I woke up from my deep slumber, I started to feel everything. It was shaking like this. Like the whole house was shaking like that. And it was shaking way so much. So my mom woke up panicking. Like she had a whole entire panic attack. And my dad's like, "Don't panic, don't panic." He's panicking with those words. "Don't panic, don't panic." And me and my sister are the only ones who didn't panic. I was just quiet and I don't know how to panic. Honestly, guys, I do know how to panic, but I don't know what to think at that time. Like my bathroom door, even though like the lock was on, it was moving, it was hitting back and forth. And there was a bell leading the way to the kitchen and the bell on my doorknob, which was also jingling. And even our chandelier was bumping and jingling. Everything, absolutely everything in the house was moving. I was terrified, but I felt like I was paralyzed in fear. I wasn't too afraid. I'm like, it's just an earthquake. But then, as I woke up from my slumber, I could feel the whole building move. I don't even remember how I felt then. The earthquake lasted at least 10 minutes. But then it ended. Like, bro, that was the worst earthquake ever. And worst of all, I ran out there with my PJs on. That was so embarrassing for some reason. And besides, a lot of other people was there gathered around. The reason why we evacuated, even though the earthquake was over, it was because after one earthquake, there are also possibilities that another one to happen. It was shaking rapidly. And so today I came with earthquake and 2 more natural disasters and tell you guys hacks and tips of what to do in that situation and how it forms. So this will be an interesting video. Stay till the end. And since I worked so hard to make up this presentation, the least you guys can do is to like this video. Alright. So the first thing upcoming is earthquake. Earthquakes are usually caused when underground rock suddenly breaks and there is a rapid motion along the fault. I think that's what happened here. This sudden release of energy causes the seismic waves that make the ground shake. The earthquake is over when the fault stops moving. Yep. There's more. Seismic waves are generated throughout the earthquake. Yep. Alright, so now here are a couple of tips of how to survive through this natural disaster. If an earthquake is big and you're stuck inside, then take shelter under a strong table. Don't try to touch, okay, so the first one is to take shelter underneath strong furniture. So for this one, we will need a table. So pretend there's an earthquake. Oh no, there's an earthquake. So basically what you need to do is move underneath the table and take shelter until the shaking stops. So this is basically what you guys need to do at a situation where you cannot think clearly, and yeah, that is basically like the best thing to do. The way I'm like moving the camera stand, it's like you guys are watching me in an earthquake. Very funny. Okay, 2, do not try try to use elevator. Well, alright, do not try to use elevator. Like, if you use an elevator, then maybe, you know those connection lines that connect to the little spinny thing so it can take you to your levels? If that because of the shaking, if the connection line somehow cuts off, like breaks or maybe rips apart, then the elevator will come shooing down and it will fall, and it will be the biggest emergency you'll ever been to. So please don't take the risk no matter how high of levels you are. I don't care if you are at the 30th floor, you have to take the stairs. Especially if you were on a high level, then do not take the elevator. Pep talk again, do not take it. Alright, while taking stairs, if it starts shaking badly, then get down and put your hands over your head. Okay, so this is the first motion that I want to show you guys. So pretend you didn't take the elevator, followed my advice and didn't take the elevator, and you're coming down the stairs. And basically it starts shaking very badly. So basically what you need to do at this point is to actually squat on the ground and put your hand over, crease your elbows and do this. Basically don't try to do this because this is basically what you do at a thunderstorm. Instead, the best thing to do is to keep at this position, which is the least you can do to survive, because there is no shelter at hallways or stairs. So that is the least you could do to survive and save your life. Alright. If you live on a high floor, then it's good to get down and come to the ground floor. Yes, guys, if the earthquake gets too bad, and you live on a high floor like us approximately, then it's good to actually evacuate and take the stairs, come down to the ground floor. That will be the safest option for you guys to choose, because if you're on a high floor and it starts shaking badly, and pretend you live in a shattered and scrappy house, then it is possible for your level to like come falling down because the whole building might shatter. I'm not taking this thing seriously, but you know what's best to do? The best thing to do is to actually evacuate the building, meaning come down to the ground floor at least. Alright. Standing between door. As I shown that even if you get down to like furniture, if you go down, take shelter underneath heavy furniture, then it is good to like avoid these kind of dangerous things. Like pretend you took shelter underneath a table. Yes, it is good, but pretend this time you came out of the bathroom and it started shaking very badly, and there is nowhere for you to run that quick. So your best option is the doorway. The doorway that leads, that little wall thing, the doorway, is there's a wall here, there's a wall here. It's a whole door. So pretend how the door stables itself. Put your hand on one wall and pressure it through. Do the same with your feet and like evolve the pressure through both sides, then you should be stable enough to stay till the shaking stops, because that will be the best option for you guys to do. Alright. The next is tornado. Okay guys, fun fact. This is actually really sad fact. Saturya Maniganj, Southern tornado. Catastrophic tornado that struck Maniganj district of Bangladesh on April 26, 1989, causing approximately 1,300 fatalities. It was likely the deadliest tornado recorded history. Yes, the deadliest tornado recorded history was actually struck in Bangladesh. With, like, literally, the place that I live in. Why? The place that I live in. Why? Absolutely why? And besides, earthquakes are really dangerous, especially in Chittagong. Again, the place I live in. Like, bro, am I living in risk? Was I living in risk my whole entire life and I was just too blind to see it? Alright. Okay. Time for the tips. I'll tell you guys how it costs later. All right. Take shelter in a small place such as closet or bathroom without windows. Yes, if a tornado comes suddenly and you are about to panic and you're about to evacuate the building, that is seriously the worst possible thing for you to do. You cannot evacuate the building. Don't do it. It's best to stay inside and stay away from windows. So the best option for you to do is to squeeze into a closet and stay there until it's safe to come out, or your best option is to grab whatever important supplies that you can take, especially phone, water, food. These three, and you're in a bathroom, so we Gucci, if you know what I mean. And yeah, we do have a bathroom without a window, so I guess we're good. Stay away from windows and go into the bathroom without a window and lock yourself and your family in. That can be the best thing for you guys to do. Alright. If you are outside, find a ditch or field away from things that can fly throughout the air. Meaning like find a ditch. Ditch means a hole in the ground. So if peeking into the ditch with a tornado chasing behind you, imagine there's nothing dangerous inside the ditch. Without thinking, just jump in. Jump in and try to cover yourself with the movement that I've shown you, which I think would be the best. Because the ditch will be a bit deep or have nothing that can... What I mean is, a tornado can capture so many things inside the spinning circle pressure, meaning it can capture even trees inside. So be in the middle of a field where you can avoid things that can fly throughout the air. But the best option for you guys to do is to actually stay inside or find a ditch for you guys to jump into. That would be the best option, guys. Alright. Tornado. Tornadoes form when warm, humid air collides with cold, dry air. The denser cold air is pushed over the warm air, usually producing thunderstorms. Yeah, that can also produce thunderstorms, guys. The warm air rises through the colder air, causing an updraft. When it touches the ground, it becomes a tornado. Yes, that's how it forms. Causing an updraft, when it touches the ground, bam, tornado. Thunderstorm. Thunderstorm arise when layers of warm, moist air rise in a large, swift updraft to colder regions of the atmosphere. There, the moisture contains an updraft condenses to form towering cumulonimbus clouds and eventually precipitation. Yep, that's how a thunderstorm forms. As I said, cold dry air collides with warm air, or whatever, like funny, I guess. I'm trying to make these things funny for you guys so you guys don't get scared. That's why I'm making mistakes on my own. I don't know why. Okay, so as I said, I would tell you guys tips to do, like tips and things to do to survive through this natural disaster. Hacks and tips, things to do to survive natural disasters, I guess. But this one is actually things that you should avoid doing, because if you're inside, then you can easily avoid a thunderstorm. So some dangerous electrical lines can actually give you electrical shock, so that's why I thought that things to avoid would be best for this one. Avoid water. Do not bathe, shower, wash dishes, or have any other contact with water. Yes, you know the pump and the lines which brings in the water, that can also have the thunderstorms electrical line. How do I explain this? Like, pretend lightning struck. The electrical shock can go through the building's walls, including the plugs, including the pipes that bring in the water. So yeah, as I said, and things we've been learning wrong in school, water does not conduct electricity, but still, the line can bring in the electricity and you will have an electric trouble bathing or taking a shower. So it's best to avoid any contact with water. And number 2, avoid electronic equipment. Yes, you can use your electronics, but not for too long. Like, don't use it near windows or any other places where you think there could be an electric shock. Don't use it for too long. That's what I really suggest you guys, especially if you live on a high floor like I do. Alright. Avoid cording phones, meaning pretend you're out of battery and you have to do something important. And you just plugged in and you started scrolling through your phone. Do not absolutely do that during a thunderstorm, because when a thunder strikes, as I said, it can go through the walls. The electric shock can go through the building walls, including through the plugs. And because it is a cord plug, it will go through and bzzz, you have an electric shock. Don't do it, guys. Not worth it. Alright. Avoid cording phones. Now I explained that to you guys. And next, avoid windows, doors, porches, and concrete. Meaning you must avoid windows. Like, there can be electrical things through the windows. Like, you know those steel railings over the windows? If you touch them, then chances are you will get an electric shock. So it's best not to. Okay, well, that's the end of, anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Be sure to smash the like button and hit the notification bell. If you like my videos, please subscribe. Bye! Survival buys!